Welcome to Meet the Candidate with your host, Sue Lonnie Madsen. Meet the Candidate is your opportunity to see local candidates and hear about the experiences that have shaped their lives. Meet the Candidate is a nonpartisan community project brought to you by our friends at Greater Spokane Incorporated, Ponderosa Republican Women's Club, We Believe, We Vote, and Better Spokane. Now, here's Sue Lonnie.
Okay, well, welcome to Meet the Candidate, and our guest for this session is Kay Murano, who is running for Legislative District 6 State Representative, Position 1. Welcome, Kay.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You know, and the funniest thing you said to me before we started is that this used to be your office.
It did, yes.
The space that we're in. That's kind of fun. Small world. So where did you grow up?
I grew up here in Spokane.
Okay.
And I actually was born in Seattle and moved here before I was a year old because my dad worked for Boeing and they were doing layoffs, and he knew that his name was rising up that list to be cut off soon. So he got a job working for the city of Spokane, and we moved the whole family.
Well, when you meet somebody who also grew up in Spokane, you always ask, so what schools did you go to?
I went to Northwest Christian when it was in town
yeah.
on Cedar and Central. And I actually went there from first grade until I graduated from high school. And the year I started first grade, my mom started teaching kindergarten there because they didn't have a kindergarten when I went. But yeah, I went all the way through and had 5 people in my class that I graduated with out of 25 that were there from first grade to 12th grade the entire time.
Well, that's a nice experience.
Yeah.
You really build some long-term friendships that way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know each other very well.
Yes, you do. You do. And sometimes you get tired of each other. So after Northwest Christian, did you do some other training or college experience?
Yeah, I started college at Whitworth and was going to be an English education major. And then I realized I'd been in school my whole life and maybe I wanted to try something else for a while. So I did some work in various places around Spokane and decided that I was going to go back to school in business because I really enjoyed that. But at the time I thought, well, how can I afford doing this? I mean, I've worked some small jobs, but I hadn't really made a lot of money. So I went to Trinity Western University in British Columbia because the exchange rate at that point in time was fabulous. Cost about half the amount that it would have cost to go to a private school here in the United States, so that I could graduate without student loans, but still receive a great education with a lot of international training as well because they had students from all over the world there.
Where is Trinity?
It's in Langley, British Columbia.
I'm trying to remember now where Langley is.
Just outside of
Vancouver?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about a 45-minute on the train.
Kind of a nice distance then to be a little bit separate. But,
right.
But
so you're kind of out in the country,
metropolitan.
but you can get to town if you really want to.
No, that sounds like a lovely setting.
It was. It was a great place.
Well, that kind of leads into a question about travel and things places you've traveled that have given you some insights. Into life.
I've been fortunate. I have gotten to travel in different ways. I would say one of the biggest trips that I remember, my parents for their 25th wedding anniversary, took me as a guest with them on a trip to Israel and then to Germany to go and see the Passion Play, and we also went to see Dachau and just a lot of the historical things of that country, as well as we got to stop over in Amsterdam because they don't actually let you fly directly from Israel to Germany. They have
really?
Yeah, you have to stop in a neutral country.
Huh.
But it was just fascinating to be able to see different areas of the world and get a new perspective compared to what it's like in the United States. And actually, that was prior to my time in Canada going to college. It was just right after I graduated from high school.
Oh, it's a perfect time for a trip like that.
So yeah, so I learned a lot, and then having the experience in college as well, to be able to say, what is this international flair like? You just really got to experience what a lot of other people use for solutions to things that maybe we don't consider here at home.
Okay. So what prompted you to run for elected office? Not everybody sticks up their hand and says, pick me here.
Absolutely. If you had asked me a year ago about running for office, I would have said, I don't think so. I don't know that that's for me. But honestly, I've always been in service. I've always, I worked here in the Chancery Building when I worked for Catholic Charities. I also worked for Volunteers of America. And really my career has been almost entirely trying to help people and say, what can I do for people who maybe can't help themselves or need a hand to be able to help themselves. And so as a part of that, I learned frequently they don't have a voice in Olympia. They don't have the opportunity to be represented, and they're not often being heard. And I also got to see that there were, some policy things that I was like, I wonder why they made that decision. And folks said, oh, well, that was because of the budget and the legislation behind the different sections. And I was wondering about some of those decisions and saying, well, how does that work? And the more I asked, the more I thought, I could do this. I can educate lawmakers, but I could also be a lawmaker to try and help make the decisions that will help those people the most.
Okay. Well, then I'll bring us to our last question here, which is, how do you see the duties of this elected office, and why should voters choose you? And you can speak directly to the voters.
Thank you. I believe that the duty of the position is obviously to represent the people, and especially the voters, because they're the ones who elect you and want to put you in that office. So my goal is to try and figure out what are the priorities of the voters, and how then do I work legislation and budgets and all of that to make sure that I'm really trying to bring about the best for what they had as priorities. So I would hope that you would vote for me, and if you have questions about me or my campaign, you can reach me directly at my phone number, 509-263-3782. Thanks very much.
Okay, well, thank you for joining me today. And I best wishes for a happy and healthy campaign season.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Kim.
Thanks for watching Meet the Candidate. Spokane Talks thanks our community-minded partners, Greater Spokane Incorporated, the Ponderosa Republican Women's Club, We Believe We Vote, and Better Spokane for helping make Meet the Candidate possible.